Okay, I'll jump in.
Okay,
Um,
girl.
because I've been taking notes here and stealing everybody's thoughts and then going to repackage them as my own. That's what good marketers do. Um, it's really simple. How do you lead? I think this is simple. And this is my magic four. One, by example, you can't expect the sales rep to do something if you're not prepared to go in there and do it yourself, because otherwise they're going to call bullshit on you. But if they know you can do it, then they can't call bullshit. That's number one. Number two, with rewards, the catnip, right? It could be commission, it could be something else. And it could vary by rep. You need to figure out what that reward is. Number three, with consequences. This is where I see people fail all the time. They get 42 chances, and the rest of the team is looking and saying, well, why do they get 42 chances? Because their teacher's pet and I got no chances. So you got to be consistent with the consequences. And finally, number four, this is the culture aspect with engagement. You need to communicate with them and tell them what's going on, what you're facing, the darts you're taking for them, the expectations from the board, the challenges. Then you also need to communicate up to represent their points of view so they feel heard. So by example, with rewards, with consequences, and with engagement, you do that, they will follow you.
Okay, could you do a mic drop? Mic drop. That was excellent. That was excellent. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on that?
I love that I got your back. I think a little bit of what Bren was talking about. I think one of the things to really understand is what is driving that individual seller, and you can bucket them into a couple of different groups typically from what's going to be the primary motivator for that person, and then being able to manage them in that direction. A lot of times I've used knowing what bigger term goals sellers have had on my teams, and when I'm bringing it back to things that I need them to do, I tie it back into that. This is going to allow you to get there, because if you're just talking about company goals and organizational sort of minutia, you'll get some people, but you're also going to lose a fair number of the people on your team, because especially in big organizations, they don't necessarily always feel that connected to the bigger organization because it's just too large, right? They're connected to their team, their region, your piece of the pie, but not necessarily to the overall organization writ large.
I think the big piece there, and there's one of my favorite books that talks about leadership in this context is a book called Legacy, which is about the All Blacks rugby team. And one of the quotes that James Kerr uses in the book is "Leaders create leaders." And if we look at this as an opportunity for us to develop leadership inside our organization, develop the future leaders inside organizations,